Hi, and welcome to the Bohannan Team Podcast, Episode 7. I'm Megan Bohannan.
I'm Emily Unnerstall.
I'm Elizabeth Zazueta, a.k.a. Celine A.V.
And I'm Rosio Roe.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
We didn't have one last week, so I missed doing this, but a lot has happened because we have been busy, which is good. We have 2 new listings coming up in the next couple days. One went live yesterday and one coming up on Monday, both in the Country Club, which is one of my favorite neighborhoods. So today we're doing an open house from 2 to 6 p.m. and tomorrow 11 to 3 p.m. So I'm excited. Easter weekend. I feel like a lot of people are out. They took some time off. The weather is going to be gorgeous.
Yes.
Veronica was telling me it's supposed to be 80 degrees or something
Over the weekend
on Sunday. So almost all my CrossFit gym is going to church on Sunday together.
Wow.
Oh,
But we were
wow.
dying laughing today at the gym because we're like, that pew is going to blow up in flames.
It's just going to burst into flame.
It is really funny, so I'm really excited. And congratulations to Miss Emily Unnerstall because you have a closing today.
Yes.
Tell me about your closing because I feel like that went so fast.
So it actually still was about 30 days.
Start to finish,
start to
listing
finish,
and everything,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, well, listing to closing was about 35 days.
Wow, that's great.
So within 5 days, we had multiple offers. We ended up going with a cash buyer. It was a little bit under asking, but it was cash. So
yeah,
he was
but
good
in
with
this
it.
market, I think we're explaining to our sellers that most people are asking for closing costs.
Mhm.
So even going a little under asking price is sometimes more of a profit gain than giving, 2 to 3%, obviously, in closing
Yeah.
costs. So-
What we ended up with is we had one that was 5,000 over asking with a loan, and they wanted 15,000 in closing costs.
Goodbye.
Or we had 5,000 under asking
Yeah.
cash with 2,000 in closing costs.
Yeah. And did you have to
So-
do repairs on that one or was it minimal?
It
or-
was very minimal. I think the repair cost ended up coming to about $400.
Mhm.
They had to replace some roof tiles that had cracked. He had to do all new smoke detectors throughout the house. He didn't have them. And a self-closing hinge on the garage door.
Oh,
That's it.
so very, very
all
simple.
things that I told him from the get-go he would have to do, but he wanted to wait and see what the buyer asked for. So
And that's fair because how many times have we had that where we thought they're for sure going to call that out and then they
Nothing.
don't?
they don't.
Because yesterday at my listing, I met the appraiser because it is vital right now to meet appraisers. And I'm a little nervous because this one is over asking price, but they're trying to compensate for also asking for closing costs.
Yeah.
When I already knew we were at the cusp of appraised value, the appraiser seemed amazing though. He's like,
Good.
I'm going to fight for this one. These upgrades are like incredible, all the things.
That heated towel rack.
The heated towel
That
rack, the
just-
heated toilet. My favorite part about that house is the silverware drawer. With the fact
Everything in the kitchen, really.
that it's
Yeah.
amazing.
I
But
like the dual staircase too.
the whole, and that's all the things I pointed out to the appraiser because I was like, if we don't point out these things, like, because even the buyer, it's actually funny. They went to the home inspection. They didn't come to our open house because we showed them everybody that came to our open house. We showed them every inch, but they didn't even know about the silverware drawer, the drawers, the pot filler. They didn't even know. They just walked in the house and go, "We have to have it. I love it."
So they loved it even more after
Yeah,
that.
and then the
Yeah.
sellers were able to meet them, and they go, "We hope they offer because we really liked them." They came in yesterday, didn't ask for 1 or 2 days ago, no repairs, already removed the inspection contingency, and they are
Nice.
so kind, want to buy half her furniture.
You're only
Of
like
course.
a week in, right?
We're only a week in, and the agent's so sweet. He's really like, you could tell he's newer in the game, but he calls me almost every day to like check in. And I'm like, you know what? I actually enjoy that
Yeah.
because I know you're working so hard.
Yeah.
And as a newer agent, calling a seasoned top agent like that every day, it helps you learn and grow as an agent as well.
And
Maybe
he's-
not every day.
No, yeah, maybe not
other
every
day.
day.
Yeah,
but
you know, I
keeping
think
in
right now,
contact.
I think he'll probably like taper off, but right now he's like, hey, I just want to let you know we're going to send you over that contingency removal. And I'm like, you just literally had to beg for one.
I know.
So it's like when
Yeah.
somebody like goes above and beyond to tell you they're going to do that and you didn't have to ask.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
I think up until contingency point, it's really good to stay in contact with the people on your team. But once you lift contingencies, I don't think you
We
need
take
to
the gas
contact
off a little
agent.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could just follow up with escrow. Hey, did you get the solar release? Hey, did you get buyer's package, seller's package, and then
Yeah, no, it's
pretty
good.
good.
I just think like for this appraised value, it's so important because I had talked to the agent, the buyer's agent, and I said, just to let you know, if this doesn't appraise, how badly do your clients need these closing costs? Because that becomes a new negotiation and we have to be prepared. So, we have buyers, Elizabeth and I had a buyer that it's like, if this doesn't appraise and she needs those closing costs, we're going to have to cancel because there is like, that money is needed. So we had a conversation before and he said, we can probably get some gifted funds. We can do things like that. But we want this to happen for the buyer. We want everybody to be really happy. So I was so glad I was able to meet the appraiser because on my last one, we gave all the comps possible, knowing we were pushing again. It did come in at value. I think this one on Parker is going to be the highest sold home in that area, which feels really good. Granted, the sellers did an amazing job upgrading the home, keeping it clean, all that stuff, but we want to make them get the value for that. So I think really, we say this every time, but hiring a good agent who's going to show up for you is everything. So
did your appraiser tell you when the report should be in?
He's like, I'm submitting it tonight. And I'm like, oh my, he was the sweetest guy. Like
he
wanted to stay and like have a cup of coffee with us practically. And like, we're like, you could stay, which like $100 bonus. Right. So it was a good time. But I'm still anxious because they go into, for those who don't know, obviously you get that appraisal, it's submitted, it goes into appraisal management. Like they can knock it out and say, we disagree with your comps. We don't like this. We know there was 2 others that were in closer proximity. Why did you use that one by the golf course?
Yeah, they have to review every little detail.
So I'm a little nervous. I did tell him, like, if you know the area, anything pre-20th Street West is not the same in Rancho Vista as it is going closer to 30th. Right. So, and these appraisers aren't from the Antelope Valley. So you want to make sure you tell them the details of things. So I'm excited. But you guys did you put your mobile home in escrow finally? Oh my, you guys have had a rough go with that though, right? Because you're trying to do the same thing and talk to the seller about stuff. But how's it going now?
So it's going good. So we didn't accept an offer that was contingent. The buyer needs to sell their home, but they're doing everything, as fast as they can. And the client wasn't very happy with wanting to accept it because she's, thinking this is really risky. But like we explained, yes, taking this offer is risky, but we're not getting offers that you are comfortable with. So it's more risky not to accept it and then not get offered anything.
And you guys are still showing it in the meantime, right? Just in case this other person can't sell their home. Yeah. That's good. I mean, you're covering all the bases.
And we gave them 2 weeks to get the park approval, so they need to be moving fast. That way nobody's wasting any time.
And that will show that they're serious buyers, too, if they go through that process, even if their home hasn't sold
It's a lot of work. That's why I tell people, like, how do you know they're serious? I'm like, well, they're paying for a home inspection. They're lining up the appraisal. They're putting skin in the game. When people aren't doing their home inspection for the first how many days, I'm like, okay, I'm getting a little nervous. Are they lingering for some reason? Why isn't their EMD in? So
with this one, we are not starting the contingencies until they put their home in escrow. So that way nobody's wasting any money.
Still full rights to sell it to somebody else. So that's okay. Yeah. You guys are doing the best for your client. I think it'll pan out. I really do. I feel like because of the market, the mobile homes are heating up. I'm actually nervous because I want to like sit out at the boulder with a sign that says, "Are you going to sell your house?" Because they're like the most hot cake thing on the market. I had a lady message me the other day and she's like, "Hey Megan, my sister needs to buy a mobile home in the Boulders." I'm like, "Of course she does." She goes, "Can you get some insight for me?" But I thought we have somebody coming up. We're not going to name names because somebody's going to steal it from us. Who's calling me?
There's like 2 different people.
It's Lexus. I made a mistake of telling somebody I was interested in a car. I'm not getting a Lexus. Don't worry, Ethan. I looked at it and I knew you'd be so disappointed in me. I know. Okay.
He needs to have a microphone that he can click on and off when he talks. Can we actually hear you in the background when you talk?
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, good. Do you not listen to our podcast?
I do, but I usually am doing something else, so I'm not fully focused on it because I'm here living it in the moment.
Oh, shush. I'm actually at the gym on whatever thing I'm pretending to work out on. No, I was kidding. But I'll start laughing while I'm on the machine and people are like, they probably think I'm crazy, but I'm listening to our podcast. I think it's so funny. Anyways.
I love it.
So Elizabeth, what do you have planned for our open house today? We're doing Friday, which is different for us.
I know, but it's going to be so much fun because it's a beautiful day. It's nice and sunny. We have cookies, candy. We're going to go door knock and invite all of the neighbors to come out and just hang out with us.
Yeah.
Bring
No,
some
I'm
wine.
super excited and it's in the country club, so which is
We
great
can hang
because
out
all
on
those
the patio.
the drunk members are going to leave and see our signs and come party with us. So we should maybe offer, no, just kidding. No alcohol.
We're gonna have cookies though, and
Cookies and candies
Candy.
and water and treats. and-
Non-alcoholic mimosas?
Yes, we
That's
could do
the
that.
sparkling cider. I make them for Haley all
I was
the time.
joking, Emily, but thank you so much.
You
Oh,
make
it's
them
for your
sparkling-
kid. That
it's
will
for
be
my
accepted.
17-year-old.
so tell us a little bit about this listing.
The one for today,
Yes.
Mhm.
it is a single story. I would call it custom.
It is.
It's customized to the
Yeah.
person selling it, but they actually had a disabled son, so the inside used to be set up for ADA, for wheelchair accessibility.
Okay.
And also he learned to walk with his arms. So they
With
actually
his
used to have
crutches.
railings down. No, so he could carry
Oh.
himself down the hallway.
Oh,
They took
okay.
those off, but the outside of that home is actually ADA friendly. So if you
Oh.
notice all the cement
Oh.
around, you can actually access it.
Mhm.
So it's
I
all
didn't
level.
notice that. That's
Yeah, it's things I
awesome.
don't think about,
Yeah.
but to somebody that could be so important.
Yes.
And we just actually, was I with you or when the person wanted wheelchair access at
Yes.
Sunnyvale?
Yes.
So 2 people came and they wanted a wheelchair accessible home.
We should reach out to them.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a really good point. They were really sweet. So that's a cool factor. There's a balcony up top, which
Mhm.
people don't
A
have.
rooftop deck.
I like the
Yeah.
rooftop deck way better.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah,
you.
rooftop deck. That's
Yeah, I really feel like I should change my marketing
I was
remarks.
channeling my inner Hollywood.
and then with the palm trees.
Yeah.
No, it is. Like, I think it's actually really peaceful up there. Like,
Yeah.
it seems private, right?
Yeah.
So that's really cool. It has a big, huge, I think it's over 300 square feet, the balcony. And then there's a 288 square foot, learned that, bonus room. But we were saying, how cool is it? Because my mom's a hairdresser and works out of her
Mhm.
home and has like a salon. My dad set up a salon for her. And then we have clients who do eyelashes and things like that.
That's
You could
perfect
make
space.
this into a salon so
Yeah,
easily.
exactly.
And then people don't have to come into your home
There's
other
a
than
door
using a
straight there.
restroom, but
Yeah.
that's right there.
Around
the
So
corner,
it's
yeah.
they
I
don't.
wonder, could you even put a door into that restroom?
I don't know. I'm sure people could get really creative with
Yeah.
things over time. But this house is really neat. I think for the price, it's only $499,900. Obviously, really competitive because there's one on Bluebird around the same size, and they're listed at $569. No
okay.
upgrades. They have a
569.
pool the size of a postage stamp. So I'm like,
Oh,
how do you
man.
equate that as a pool? Like
Yeah.
all 4 of us would be very
It's a
tight
pond.
enough. It's a pond. It's a
Yeah.
clear pond.
Best part about that listing, though, is the neighbors.
Oh, my parents.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
Cut
My
that.
dad is
Yeah.
no. My dad is like, you're driving too fast. But you could never live in a safer neighborhood because now that he's retired, he's like, that car moved an inch. Like he knows.
Is he out there with the tape measure measuring your grass?
I marked it. He's been here
He's
too long.
fully aware of what
My
goes
in-laws
on.
do that. I'm not kidding.
Oh, people are no. My dad is. He notices everything, but I'm like, that is the neighbors you do want.
Yeah.
It was previously rented out to renters, duh. But they drove so fast down the street. So I told my dad, I'm like, oh, they're moving. I was like, good. So
He's like, finally.
it is a great house, but I'm really, really excited about the one on Monday because it's also in the country club. And it's a condo, but it's one of the 3-bedroom condos. The bedrooms
Oh.
are huge. They're we always get complaints about small bedrooms. The
They're
condo
big.
bedrooms and these are ginormous. So, but there's no downstairs bedroom. But to me, I'm
Oh,
like the upstairs bedrooms, you can have like an office in your own bedroom.
Mhm.
That's the
So
size there.
typically the condos there only have 2 bedrooms.
Yeah, they're usually 2-bedroom, 3-bath.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and no downstairs bedrooms unless something has been converted, but it's kind of probably a little bit weird.
Does this one have a downstairs one?
It
No.
doesn't. You could. So I've actually seen people because there's like a dining room off the living room. And I thought if you had to have somebody, you could totally get creative and make it cute. But this one's really upgraded. Retha obviously can decorate anything. She's like cutest thing ever.
And
So the
isn't
way
it
she
a-
dresses, that's the way she decorates too. She's very
so
cute.
I'm really excited.
I'm excited. And it's on the corner.
I was
So
going
you,
to say it's a
Oh,
corner.
okay.
so
and
you
it
have
has like a
one
little
shared wall.
patio on the back and it's a lot more private. So 'cause some of the condos, as you guys know, are on the main street.
Mhm.
So I kind of like the fact they're tucked back a little bit.
Yeah.
So
And she has good neighbors too. One of them is one of my bridesmaids.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
No, it's a great neighborhood. A lot of people who buy those condos, they don't come up for sale often because people love living there. So I'm really excited for that. We're going to be doing an open house all next weekend for that one too. And by chance, if Fantasy Street is still available, I think we should just do
All
just
over.
really
Yeah.
hammer out that
Yeah.
neighborhood. So
Yeah.
That would be
Signs
perfect.
all over.
signs all over. You're going to see us all over the country club for a few weeks now. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, do you guys have any upcoming listings or buyers or what's going on? Because this tax season, we talked about that before, but I feel like it is really heating up right now. I feel like our Zillow calls are coming in a little bit more. Open houses are a lot busier.
Where's the one that we're working on by your parents' house?
Oh, yes. We're
Yeah.
actually going to start probably getting some listings out of the area.
Good. That's
Ooh,
great. So
yeah.
more, your parents remind me of the town.
The Long Beach area.
Long Beach. Yeah.
But she actually met someone
At Home Depot.
at Home Depot.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm not kidding.
Speechless.
As a realtor,
Are you ever home?
I'm always home.
Yeah.
So I actually met them like a long time ago. Like I was returning something and they were returning something and they were saying how the home warranty sucked. And then we just started talking about it. Like
Amazing.
I was like giving them like some tips and whatever, and I gave them my phone number and we would just, reach out. She's like, "Oh, my friend wants to buy a home." So I just kept, "Hey, does your friend still want to buy?" They're like, "Oh, they went with someone else." I'm like, "Okay, no worries." And so we just kept, each other's phone numbers. And then she reaches out to me. She's like, "Hey, I have some questions. I have family members that live out by Long Beach and they're going to want to sell and buy
Oh
out
my
here in
gosh.
Palmdale, but you're the only realtor that I know." And so she started talking to
Wonderful.
me, and right now they're on vacation. So when they come back, we're going to schedule, and, Elizabeth's parents live out there. So she'd be great to,
Those are the best leads at relationship, with
I'm sorry.
building.
But
Is
it
that a
was
word?
so funny because you were like, "Oh, I'm gonna give it out to
Oh,
another agent. I'm gonna look for an agent in that area." And I was like, "No,
Well, you
give
know
it to
the
me."
you know the area really well.
I was like, I don't know the area. I was like, I let the lady know though. I was like, so I'm part of Women's Council. I have great people on this
We
team.
actually have really awesome people in
Mhm.
Long Beach as well.
So that's what I told her. I'm like, I can find someone that I know is honest, because they had previously worked with a realtor that they thought was not very honest. They didn't like his vibes. So they felt that I'm honest and, whatnot. And so I told them I'll find somebody perfect. So I called Elizabeth. I tell her, "Hey, look, remember I told you about this person? They just called." And they're like, "Oh, no, I can do it. My parents live right there." I'm like, "Oh, okay, great." So
I was thinking to myself, what would I do if I wasn't a realtor? Like, we have no realtor brain, right? Because I feel like now I'm like all realtor brain all the time. But like, how would I find a real estate agent? Because I really believe I would go based off referral. I just knowing my personality, like just to go willy-nilly with somebody, like I don't know if I would feel comfortable with that. And you call into a floor time, they just don't give you the vibe, and it's like, that's my representation to make the biggest investment of my life.
So it's kind of crazy because actually my husband has a coworker that his dad said, "Hey, use this realtor out here, very known." And his dad's like, "Make sure you use this guy for this, for this sale." He did use him, and then in the end, he wasn't very happy because he kept a portion of his earnings over the price.
That's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And this is for everybody out there. If you have a realtor that starts talking about your equity and how they should profit because they brought you a better offer when you've already agreed to a commission, that is unethical in my opinion.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, it's very common. We've actually heard about it more. I don't know if it became more common during COVID because people were like, "Hey, you're making $200,000 more than you thought you would." Well, congratulations to them. That is their investment. That's what they paid for. You're paying me to do a job I would do in any market. I just never take advantage of my clients. I think you guys know this by now. I'm like, should be more pushy than I am.
But I don't understand. Their commission is still going up. It's a set percentage. So
The
even if
thing-
you bring
no,
them
no.
200,000 more
On the
you're getting
contract,
more.
it's a percentage, and if they make over a certain amount, like say we're willing to take 500, but if we make anything over, then I also get a percentage of the overage.
Well, I mean, if the seller
I don't know
agrees
exactly.
to that from the get-go, I wouldn't mind
The
because
thing is that they don't pay attention, and that's what happened in this case. They didn't
because
realize.
if I want 200,000 and the agent brings me 210 but tells me out of those extra $10,000, if I make anything over what you want, you have to give me a percentage of that. I wouldn't care because I would be like, "Okay, you win, I win, we both win."
But here I would agree with that, Elizabeth, if if realtors really dictated the price of your home. Yes, we market it to get you the most money, but it still has to appraise and there's still a value attached to that. I feel like I noticed, and I think some realtors are still trying to use this technique, but now they're getting found out. I sold this house $100,000 over asking. Okay, was it priced at market value and you got 100,000 over? So that's where they got bamboozled during COVID. I'm going to get you 50,000 over because this is what it should sell for. That person has no idea because you think your house is worth 350, but they already know they're going to get you 375 and maybe they'll get you 4. So they're all writing that in. I think there's a lot of bamboozleness that goes on with that.
And what happens is sometimes they didn't even pay attention that that's how they had it worded
They
in the
just
contract.
sign.
A lot of people, unfortunately, just sign. And, you know, like in this case, the dad referred this person to him. And then so he's like, okay, well, my
That
dad
trust
uses
factor's
them.
there because it's a
Yeah.
referral.
And then in the end, he was like, he ended up, well, he was going through a divorce. So unfortunately, he ended up not getting anything after that because of the fees that were involved in the.
It's so
Mhm.
sad. But I do
Yeah.
agree. We need to read the contracts. I think if a realtor can do something, to Elizabeth's point, that is just unbelievable, then, you know, and you agree to that,
That's
what-
your prerogative.
that's your prerogative. But I also think to myself, my ultimate goal is to do that for you, not take that percentage, but you're going to go tell 10 of your friends, Megan
Yes.
got me so much money. She's ethical. You have to hire her.
I think what I'm having trouble wrapping my head around is I understand, like, they're like, okay, I'm going to charge you 5%. I'm listing at 400,000, but I'm also going to take 2% of the 50,000 overage I bring you. But at the same time, you're still getting 5% of that 450, even though you originally started at 4. You're still getting 5% of that whole sales price. So
They're
your
getting
commission
way
is
more
still
than
going
2%.
up.
Like they're taking a big chunk.
See that, and I don't know. I mean, I obviously this is just what he told my husband,
Mhm.
and like he doesn't know specifics, but we didn't look at the contract
Let's go
to
back
say.
and find that contract.
I know. I wish that I don't.
How many years ago was that? They have to
That was-
retain it for
that
7
was
years.
just like this year, like very very recent. Hmm.
Yeah, let's get a copy of that.
Yeah, I think
contract.
it's good to know because I was just telling you guys this yesterday. Like we are all guilty of doing something in a transaction where we're like, maybe that's not exactly what the client wanted, right? We're human. We're trying to figure things out. We're learning as we go, and no deal is ever the same. So every time we respond, we're like, okay, what could I have done better? Was that the right thing? You know, as we learn and grow, and you know, we obviously care about how happy our clients are. You know, I think that when we hear of things that other realtors are doing that people love or they dislike, we need to apply that to our own business. Because once you hear that and you're like, I'm never going to use them again because they did this, you need to be all ears and be like, okay, what was it? Because I don't want to be guilty of the same
Yeah.
thing.
Like our recent, we have one that they are putting $4.99 for TC fee and $4.99 for brokerage fee.
No.
Yeah, and then they put it on the purchase contract.
But
as
again, the
opposed to-
client agreed to that. But if you don't know, you don't know. And I think that's Emily's point. Is
So,
like,
yeah.
it's
like
really
this
not supposed to be there.
You're not
but-
ignorant. How
I-
often do people sell houses?
So when
Not
you do that
often.
on your buyer, do you have a buyer agreement where the buyer already signed
Yes.
agreeing to
Yeah,
that?
they have to. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm
Yeah.
going, what if the buyer doesn't see that on their contract and they're just going by their
The
realtor's
escrow,
word?
the escrow will ask for that because you do have to send them that.
The buyer agreement.
The commission. It's a commission agreement because you're letting
For the
them know.
buyer. Okay.
So you're letting them know that I am charging this fee or my brokerage is charging this fee, and they
Yeah.
have to sign it because escrow won't. Even if it's on the contract, if the buyer didn't sign the commission
See,
agreement, then they can't release
That's
it.
so scary because there's so many people out there that like just trust your word.
Mhm.
So if you don't, you just happen to forget
Yeah.
to mention that to them, and you're just like, oh, hey, special commission agreement. I really need you to sign it. This is just to clarify commission. You don't actually tell the buyer, oh, you're paying me $1,000 in commission.
It does show on there. That's
I-
all there is. It's just a one sheet, and then it
So-
says commission amount, and so you write it in, and they sign. So it should be very clear because
It's
there's-
very
Right.
clear. And most people
But-
do notice dollar amounts on things. So
Mhm.
they're very aware of those
But
things.
if you're doing it DocuSign, like we just looked at a
Yes.
DocuSign recently, if you just tap, it just takes you to where you're supposed to sign. If
Yeah.
you don't
So,
actually scroll
what I-
and look and you're just trusting somebody's
what
word,
I always tell my
you're screwing
clients.
yourself.
I always tell them sign everything, but before you click finish,
Review
read through it because it's
Yeah.
easier to just sign through and then start reading. Because like you said, I can read here, and then when I sign it, goes.
And then
to
you
the
don't
next.
have to press complete
Exactly.
if you don't like
So I
something.
tell them what I do just so that it's easier. I'm like, click the signature or the initial everywhere, but do not push complete or finish signing until you read through it. Then push it. That way you can read through it
So,
easily.
on DocuSign,
Yeah.
but on zip forms, if you do the e-sign through zip forms, if you sign through everything, then it
Mhm.
comes up with a box right in the middle that says finish, and you can't clear that.
Mm.
So you would have
I
to
do-
review
I do
first
DocuSign.
and then go through.
Yeah, I
and
just
I
use
like
just
DocuSign.
DocuSign
that
because
way.
I have more power over
Control.
it of
Yeah.
things, you know, as a protection for my
Mhm.
clients. Actually, I think I just paid a $1,200 renewal just for DocuSign signatures. It's
Yeah.
not cheap,
Yeah.
but that because I
1,200.
send out a lot of envelopes a year, so it's not.
Mhm.
It's because we could do the one through car for free, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to make sure that all of everything is secure.
See, I like the one through car because you can just select yourself and do it all right there on the document, and it doesn't actually have to email it to yourself to do it again.
Yeah, I just like,
I like
I'm just
that.
like, I've been a control freak since I started in real
Yeah.
estate, as you guys know, but there's also ways to catch things
Mm-hmm.
before they go out too. And I'm just kind of crazy like that. But I have, when I first started at Century 21, my first year in real estate, there was a $295, or no, I think it was $195 because it was how many years ago,
Mhm.
fee for the buyers. And I always felt like nervous, like, oh, you have to give me $200. And like, I felt like nervous about it.
I think it's not, but you need to word it the right way because they're not giving it to you. In reality, it's for the brokerage because the way that
But I still felt weird because
Like,
it's
asking
like, I just have always been, that's my personality. So when I left and I came to Remax, I was like, and they go, no, you don't have to do that. I was like, good. I'm not doing that anymore because I don't like the awkward conversation
Yeah.
of it, you know.
Yeah.
But on some of the deals, like I'm doing one right now, I'm actually having the buyer pay a certain fee for the TC because they already lived in the home and the commission is next to nothing. So I thought at this end of the day, we still have to process paperwork. We can't do
Yes.
it. We
Right.
can't work
and
for
that's
free.
and that's exactly how you should word it because the fee that they're charging us is a fee to save all the documents and in case you go to court everything is filed, and it's not a fee that you're keeping, it's a fee the company is keeping. So that's what you clarify with them. It's not something that is being paid to me, it's being paid to the brokerage and it's for your protection. They save all of your documents, that way you don't have to worry about saving it. The company's going to have it. If we go to court, it's all going to be there. It's for your protection.
Document retention fee.
Exactly.
That's what
Yeah.
you can call it.
It just depends. I think every realtor has their own, you know, motive. And you know what? The way that real estate's going and how expensive the world is, people are noticing every little fee. Like things are getting expensive. Sellers before were like, oh, it's fine. I'll throw in the washer, dryer, and refrigerator. But now you're like, okay, I got to go buy a new one. Like things are getting more expensive. So I'm just trying to learn as I go again. And I don't care how many years you've been in real estate. I talk to agents who've been doing this for 30 plus years and they're calling me like, Megan, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, you're still wondering about the market too. It's refreshing to know we're always in the, but it was so cute. The guy on Parker that I'm doing the deal with, his name is Frank Flint. He is the cutest older man.
I was going to say, isn't he a little old man?
He is, but he's just so kind. And he called me and he said, I just was on my heart to tell you this has been the best transaction I've ever had. And you're so sweet. And I said, Frank, that's the way we should work together, you know? But he said, obviously people are not that kind.
And that's the agent?
Yeah, it's the agent. But he said it's been the smoothest transaction. But I was like, well, that goes both ways because you've made it easy for me to operate in this transaction as well. So it's been really sweet. And he called me the other day. He's like worried about my grandma. And I'm like, this is like, it's amazing that there's some awesome realtors out there to work with too. So I love my job. Really, you guys, I love real estate. I think you guys are getting like, are you guys addicted yet? Do you feel like? I know Elizabeth is. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
About that new Dream program, what happened?
For
the Dream for All program?
Oh, it's funds are almost gone.
Yeah, I hate that program. I'm so glad it's gonna go. I know Rosio's like you had somebody interested in it.
Yeah, I'm not an advocate, but I'm saying I think that some people feel that this is the only way they can get into a home, but it is definitely not the best way.
You saw a lot of realtors pitching in. I think people who, you know, even aren't following us, you saw some realtor pitching this program. It was like the 20% down payment help, blah, blah, blah. But pretty much somebody owns a big majority of your equity until you sell that house. And that means that you'd have to sell in the best market possible to even make a profit later on because you're not even guaranteed to sell in a good market, right?
Yeah.
So kind of different. It's running out, which is kind of scary. So
what lasted like a month? Not even a month.
Not even a month.
Like 2
I think
weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Roughly.
That's crazy.
That's just like
I mean, a
when
lot of people use it then, right? I mean,
Yeah.
somebody thought it was great and good for
We'll
them.
hear news reports later about people's feedback, which is going to be good. It'll help us learn for future, just like when they did the Cal Half a Zip program.
I'm wondering, so tell me about, and we didn't even ask that. If the Dream program, if they foreclose on that home, how does that lender keep that equity, or how is that going to work? Do they take over that home so they can claim stake in that entire home before it goes to foreclosure? So these lenders actually can take the note of your home, I'm assuming. They're all probably hoping you foreclose because your payment's $4,200 a month.
Interesting.
That's I've just
Those
my
are
thoughts.
questions we need to ask.
I thought about that because I was looking into what if I, you do like hard money lending, right? So you can make money on your own money. And I was like, well, what's your security if I'm like lending you this much money? And they said, well, you get the note of the house if they don't follow through. And I'm like, well, that's pretty good security. So it makes sense. I have a feeling that's the dream program
is it
as well.
just like a regular foreclosure? It goes back to the bank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering how it's going to work on that, but
Yeah.
But they have a higher stake in it. So it's like kind
Yeah,
of,
it's
I feel like
different.
they were willing
They
to
get first
really
dibs.
lend on these because in this market, the people who did the dream program are most of the time people who may have to foreclose in the future because they have no skin in the game at all. It's interesting. I've just theories,
Yeah.
conspiracy
That's
theorists.
great.
No comment.
No comment.
But
That's fine.
Yeah, those are all great questions. We should write those down and ask people.
how do you guys think that the collapse of the dollar is going to affect the real estate market?
I don't know.
I haven't followed enough of that
Yeah.
to be
What are you
able to give an
hearing? So
educated
fill
answer.
me in and I'll give you my
No,
feedback.
Just with the banks collapsing and all of that, or
Let's just change the subject.
You can't start in
You
that.
can't
Oh my
start
god.
in
She's
that.
such a no. I think it's good to consider a lot of things, but I also am on the other side. Like, there's so much negativity going out, and then today we're like, okay, rates went down, so not a huge percent, but it's like they're still coming down. There's more inventory coming up because we're
Yes.
getting more listings.
Mm-hmm.
My open houses are popping. You guys, last weekend I was like, was stressed because there's so many people coming in at one time. How do we talk to them and walk around, get them a flyer, answer their questions?
Yeah.
That is a good telling to me that the market and people are still out there spending money. And I have talked to multiple lenders. COVID wasn't bad to everybody. There's a lot of people who made a lot of money during COVID and their money is still circulating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who knows, Elizabeth? I feel like it is scary times. I would repeat myself a million times by saying this: save your money. I feel stressed right now, even because I'm just thinking to myself, okay, I was on that COVID spending gig and, eating out every day and going here, going there, doing this, not thinking about it. And I'm like, okay, that's got to reel back.
if you do Ethan's plan and just DoorDash to the office instead of eating out, 100% tax write-off.
That is off the record, though, right? We're not confirmed.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, not confirmed.
FYI,
that's a
In-N-Out does
benefit.
not come via DoorDash.
They actually do work with one. I just forgot the name. I'll get back to
Was
you.
it Uber Eats or
Nope.
Postmates?
Nope. It's another one. It's like Fly Guys.
Fly Guys.
deliveries.
Oh, yeah, Fly Guys.
They do in and out.
What's
Do you know I've
Fly
never
Guys?
done DoorDash, Uber Eats, anything?
Oh, wow, you're fancy.
No,
No,
I think it's
I'm
weird. I'm not
scared.
letting somebody put their private parts in my pizza or something.
They-
You hear of these horror stories where
Yeah,
they're
I feel like they're gonna open it.
No.
And,
no, they say, oh, they
No.
come sealed. And I'm like, I could unwrap a
No,
Christmas
you
present
can't.
and rewrap it as a
Unsealed
child.
little
So.
Can I
child.
tell you? Okay, so Fly Guys Delivery is
I've never
actually
used them.
owned. I use him all the time. It's owned by Scott Fly. He is one of the most kind-hearted people. He's only in the Antelope Valley. He's the only delivery system that will deliver to Antelope Acres, Leona Valley.
That's
Little
great.
Rock.
But does he have employees?
Yes.
No. Scott might be kosher, but I
But
don't know if
with
Billy
his-
Bob is putting his
With his
finger in my
platform,
pepperoni.
with his
That
platform,
sounds so dirty.
you can select your driver.
Don't put your finger
So
in my pepperoni.
I can literally go into his app and say, Scott, I only want you to deliver my food.
Oh, interesting.
Emily,
get
you need to
select your
just go
people.
get your damn food by yourself. She
So-
she lives in the heart of all restaurants.
I
too.
do. But there was a time I was at the Paraclete homecoming game at Antelope Valley College. All of Haley's friends were coming up to me and they were like, we're starving, Miss Unnerstall. We're starving. Can you get us something to eat? And I called Scott. I said, hey, dude, I don't know anybody that's going to deliver to ABC Stadium. He's like, tell me what you need. I didn't even have to go through the app. I texted him.
that's
He
nice.
picked it all up. He dropped it off.
So
It was
you're
perfect.
like saying no delivery when I'm sure you've delivered a pizza before.
I
It's the
just
same thing. It is literally the same thing, Megan.
You're right.
I'm just saying.
Relax, it's lettuce.
I just get things in my head and I can't. I
It's
just
so
can't.
sad
I get it.
because
I also like
Think about-
can't sit down at a restaurant and not go wash my hands first, even though I just like I enjoy my meal more knowing that my hands are
yeah,
clean.
you're so funny because the people that do a lot of the Uber driving and all that, like they're
Do you
people,
see them walk into the restaurants? They look like horrible. They're
I
in
don't
their
know who you're looking
pajamas.
at.
They're
They-
right. Yeah.
They have
The
like
ones the ones that come to my house are never like that. Oh my gosh, you have horrible experiences.
I
Sorry for
know.
you.
I'm always eating in restaurants, and I see these people come in. They're like the fumes of smoke coming out of their car. Their cat hair flying
You know
off of their
what?
whip.
I did get one food order that smelled so badly of cigarettes because they
that's
smoked
horrible.
so much in their car.
Thank you for proving my point.
I literally had to send it back.
Yeah.
I had to call and get my money back, and I went.
So
and I
Elizabeth,
picked up
we're
the food
just like
myself.
at home making dinners
Yeah.
like normal people.
I will
and
tell
grocery
you,
shopping.
I have
That's really
not
sweet of us.
done.
I don't do it
DoorDash
like that
in
much.
Close to
Okay.
a year.
And close to it. I know
And
that's
close to a
bullshit.
year.
Wait, what'd she say?
I'm trying not to curse on you.
So I have done Instacart
Because I
my
live so close to
groceries.
you and I see them drop off your food.
That's my groceries. That's my
Oh my
groceries.
gosh, she doesn't
That's
even
different.
grocery shop. Wow.
I
need to
know.
be
She
Emily.
doesn't
I do.
either.
Sometimes.
And every time
I
you
do
call me, I'm
sometimes.
like,
But like, if
Costco.
I'm making tacos, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot cilantro. I'm just gonna Instacart that really quickly because I'm in the middle of making all my tacos. So
But doesn't
I
it get to you
Instacart
in
it.
like an hour?
No, I do priority and it's to me
I
20
actually,
minutes.
that's how I got those.
I
I mean,
guess
she
cookies
paid
this morning.
$85 for
Instacart.
sour cream. Mm-mm.
So if you subscribe to them, you don't have to pay the delivery fee.
Oh my gosh.
But you still pay the priority fee.
I pride myself on
$2.
walking into a grocery store.
I will pay.
I want to
$2
pick out my
for-
apple and look at it and know what
Yeah.
cilantro I'm pulling out.
I
and-
only do it for.
That's
last
nice when
minute
you don't
stuff.
have kids and a
Is
lot of
Dorothy
other
Or if
calling
I'm
you?
really sick.
No, it's Remax.
Oh, because Dorothy called me twice, but I'm
Is Remax calling you because Dorothy called Remax?
No.
Probably.
No.
Well, floor time.
It's not.
Oh,
So
are
it's
you on floor
11:45.
time?
You were on floor time.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
I do have to take this call. I've never had
Take
this
it.
happen to me.
It's okay. Take it.
Okay, you guys talk for 2 minutes.
Take it.
Can you pause?
It's okay. We're gonna pause. I'm gonna check and see if soft closed.
Okay, so sorry. That was my knee doctor calling me to see about my possible arthritis at 34 years old. How embarrassing is that? But
Well,
It's okay.
I've had that actually.
do you?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's from running, Megan. It's from running.
I don't regret. I told the doctor right now. I'm like, look, I don't want to feel like I can't go out and be active because I would be the most depressed person ever.
Yeah.
But today I went to the gym, took it kind of easy, and yeah. But they're like, we'll do more X-rays. I'm like,
And
you
then you-
already did a damn X-ray.
You go in,
Jesus.
your knee's the size of a watermelon.
Oh well, I'm gonna figure this out because I'm gonna. No, I want to
okay.
run. I love this weather right now. I just want to go out like the Sound of Music and run in the fields
so
right now.
In the
of
poppy
poppies.
fields.
Elizabeth and I are nicer people in the summertime. We like the warm weather.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't like
You're
being
always nice.
cold. I literally told Jory yesterday, I was like, it's freezing in our house. You need to turn the heater up.
Yeah.
He
Our
took
gas
my
bill went
access
down
away.
$300 this last month because after I saw that
Nice.
it was over $600, I'm like, I'm willing to lose a toe from frostbite. It is way. That is a lot for my house to be over $600 for a gas bill.
That is way too
ain't
expensive.
happening
Crazy.
again, people.
Yeah, definitely should not happen.
And that's the other thing I wanted to say. So when I was like today, I was like taking a shower. I'm like podcast, right? Where I was thinking
Mhm.
about things. I wanted to talk about budgeting because I feel like right now we came off of COVID. There's a lot of different things people were doing, right?
Yes.
And I know we keep talking about COVID, and one day hopefully we never have to talk about it again. But we are making a transition into like life is back to normal. But inflation is real. What are you guys cutting back on? Knowing that gas prices are higher, groceries are higher, eating out, like all these things we talk to clients about who are trying to pay off credit cards, get their credit back in line, budget, all those things. Is there anything that you guys have been changing in your own lives?
I feel like I had to reassess my entire budget
Yeah.
after COVID. Everything just went up, and also I feel like during COVID we were able to save up a little bit more money because we weren't going out as much.
Yes, I felt that
So
too.
right after COVID, everyone had a little extra cash, but then now the prices are up.
Mhm.
All that cash is gone.
And people were borrowing, they were doing home equity lines of
Oh,
credit.
yes.
They were borrowing money, rates
Not
were
paying
low.
their mortgages or rent.
Oh, yes.
Oh
I
my
forgot
God,
about
that's a solid point. So a lot of
Mhm.
forbearance people,
Mhm.
people who lived in apartment complexes, they actually weren't paying and they couldn't make you leave, and you're feeling less guilty because it's not an actual landlord you're upsetting. But in reality, that is somebody's
But then there was
business.
even that
Yeah.
program where they paid off the people that they didn't pay. So if you didn't pay and you were my landlord, they'll pay you, and then I still didn't have to pay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Keep pocket on
But
that
let's
money.
that was my women's council speech when I became El Presidente. That ship has sailed. And it's scary because one thing about me, and I've noticed lately, I'm like, I got really used to just spending money on things that didn't matter. Oh, hey, can you
mhm.
donate to this? Or hey, can you do that? And I'm like, yeah, sure, absolutely. Would love to help. And then now I'm like, okay, I really need to pick and choose certain things I want to do, where I want to spend my money. Looking at new cars and seeing the rates, I'm like, okay, I bought during COVID, I got a car in August 2020. Rates were great. My payment was great. I got a beautiful car. And to even go get that same car, you know, it's $300 more. And I think that
Oh,
BMW has
no.
less amenities. Like it's,
Oh, wow.
they don't change that often, BMW.
Not really, no.
But I was like, man, that's $300 more a month. And if you're not making more money, what do?
Yeah.
Your lease is up. You have to like re-amortize your payment and keep the car at almost the same payment because rates are higher. So
Yeah.
what are we going to do? Where should we cut back? Where could we do things where we can have like a savings plan to help people, you know, be okay with this inflation because we have to, and still be able to save for a down payment? Is there any like tips and tricks you guys have?
Piggybacking onto that, DoorDash and Instacart, you know, there are people who do pay fees for that. And, you know, yeah, cilantro in the grocery store might be 99 cents, but it might be $1.09 on Instacart.
Yeah,
So little things there, you know.
absolutely. Those service fees.
Mhm.
Or
Maybe-
actually being a driver, just saying,
Mhm.
pick up little shifts here and there. I have
Yeah.
a friend that does it, and he says he does it 3 hours a day for like 3 days, and he makes like $300. And then he's
Yeah.
like, some people get like $1,200 doing it. It's like, if you have any little free time, pick up an extra shift or
One
something.
of my family members does that. He like Uber drives at night, and he's like, I make extra money, and I just be
Yeah.
sitting at home, and I'm like,
Mhm.
that's a really great idea, you know,
Yeah.
to make
Right.
extra cash. You could do like a little side gig. Maybe if you're
Mhm.
like creative, do some stuff, but
Mhm.
not everybody has that luxury, and we have to try to save money to buy a home.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's like, okay, maybe you need to get dinner. Well, maybe you pick it up instead of sitting in a restaurant
Yeah.
because now you're, you know,
You
tipping
save
money
money
Recycle
on
cans.
tip and
it's kind of
Recycle
scary.
cans.
Like, I mean, you want to help everybody else, but at the same time, like you have to save your own money. So just little tips and tricks
little
and
things, not eating out as much.
Yeah.
I know that's one thing we did. We don't do drive-throughs anymore. We don't go out to eat. We used to
Use
go out
coupons.
to eat.
you are
We
really
used
good
to-
about cooking at home.
I am
But now
really
that I
good
know
about
you
it.
Instacart it, you totally defeated that. You need to know more.
I still cook
if I
at
see a
home.
car in front of your house, I'm going to ask you who it is.
I still cook it. I still cook at home. I just
It does save
sometimes
money.
I do. Yeah.
John and I went to
Um,
Seattle this weekend, and I got my credit card statement, and I'm like, okay, first of all, it's cheaper in other states to eat out. I will say that. It
Yeah,
was
oh my
nice.
gosh,
It was,
yeah.
even though Washington's not the cheapest, John was even saying, like, don't you feel the difference? Even a cocktail, you're like, oh, that's only $12. When did we
25.
ever say $12 for a cocktail? It's still a lot of money, but
Yeah.
here it would have been $17 in that restaurant.
yeah.
You know, but it's a lot of money. So vacations are a luxury, you know. So
Mhm.
maybe for a year, if you're trying to buy a home, you don't get to travel.
Yeah.
Maybe
Sorry,
do
unless you're a realtor and you can write it off.
yeah.
Right. Or other self-employed.
If you're
people.
selling houses,
If you have
a
I love you're
business.
like it's a write off. It's a write off. I'm like, but you sold a house 4 months ago.
I know.
It's a lot of
Yeah,
write offs.
But if you're somewhere else, if I'm in
If you
Mexico
go-
taking a real estate call
Yeah.
and looking up
Mhm.
houses,
Go to open
and-
houses.
It's true.
All you have to do is go to open houses.
Well,
That's what I
technically,
did.
My husband was my client at one point, so that's a write off for life, right?
Wedding weekend. Let's go look at beach houses.
and
I
then-
just said let's
And
save
then we're
money.
gonna
This
write it
is
off.
Oive.
No, seriously. Then you could write off the trip.
Okay, this is not helping my point at all. But yes, that sounds like fun.
Yes.
My thing is
You're
what
welcome.
what can we do to help people think of ways to save money? I think make a day trip instead of maybe a weekend trip.
Mhm.
Do something fun. We all need to break up the monotony of life, but maybe you pack a lunch instead. You do little things because I've noticed that my gas bill is $600. Like
Yeah.
that, it literally used to be, I don't even know if it was $200.
In the wintertime, it's usually maybe $110 at max.
Yeah. Well,
We have to cut down Starbucks.
oh,
Well, I'm still
Starbucks,
using my gift card.
Oh
See,
my
that's
gosh,
what I
that
do.
that's a great thing. How Starbucks line, no matter what time of day, it's long. So
Yeah.
everybody's spending money at Starbucks.
Yeah.
But some
If-
people said they'd rather like not eat so they could have their Starbucks.
See, if
Oh
you
my
do it like
gosh.
Rosio and I, we load our gift cards into the app so we get double stars and then you use your stars to get free drinks.
I know
Oh, I
when
love
your
the
gift
app too,
cards
but at
run
the end
out.
of the day, if I looked back at what I spent, okay, my husband spends at Starbucks. He gets
goes every
Starbucks
day.
literally every single day. But to him, he's like, that's my outing. That's when I get out of the house. But I'm like, that it's not the cheapest outing. And I also told him, I'm like, you're spending gas money too, like at the same time. Like, I'm glad he does it. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. But if you're really trying to budget, you cannot be
Yeah.
doing all these frivolous
That's
activities.
I actually was like, I'm not going to Starbucks today. I came straight here. And I didn't go to Starbucks, even though I do have a gift card that was given to me. So I have,
Fun. Can we get Bloodies at the country?
Yes,
Bloody Marys
let's
later?
go.
Okay.
Also, sometimes that's like my little treat when I have a showing or I'm like, okay, I'm working for it, so I deserve a Starbucks.
No, absolutely. And I think it's good. I'm not saying don't do things, don't have fun, don't enjoy
but
life.
do it. Don't do it as often.
But I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
think if we want to help people, I think it's really
Moderation.
smart to start talking about budgeting to buy a home.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed my money is not going as far. And I'm like, if I'm feeling this, everybody's feeling this. And I also have months where I can make great money and some months where you
Yes.
cannot sell a house. There's being self-employed is not guaranteed income. You have to learn how to save and budget. But I always think to myself, what a luxury, because you can have a month where you're like, wow, that was a phenomenal month. When you're a W-2 employee, you make the same amount every single month. So when inflation hits, it's
hard.
devastating. You have kids in sports, you have all these things. It's expensive. Today's your snack day.
Yeah.
You have
Talk
to,
about expensive. I have to pay for the anesthesia for my son's dental surgery out of pocket, $1,500.
oh, that's
Yeah,
awful.
expensive.
yeah.
Insurance isn't covering it.
They have he's not from the clinic, so he's not contracted with the insurance.
He's not in network.
Yep, he only goes once a month to that clinic, and that's the only clinic that I can get him seen at because
Isn't it so annoying? We pay so much money for medical insurance so they can tell you, sorry, you're not covered. Or you
My
still have
grandma,
to
the
pay
same thing. I mean, it's
$5,000.
ridiculous.
The medication that my doctor put me on earlier this week, $800 a month
Yeah.
So I
with
had heights.
insurance.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not taking it.
It was really nice meeting you, Emily.
I'll see you
Yeah.
again in the afterlife.
No, but
Yeah,
like-
so it's definitely not easy to budget on that.
But you'll
No,
get
it's
DoorDash.
No, but one of the things I'm learning as a business owner that especially as a realtor, I feel like it's important to have different sources of income.
Oh my
Maybe like a
gosh,
side
yes.
job, maybe a hobby that brings you
Yep.
money, investments.
Absolutely. That's been the it's actually, it's funny how you don't pay attention to something because you don't think it's important at the moment. And then one day you're like, oh my God, I was told to do this. That's the thing during COVID. And if every educational thing I listened to is you have to have multiple sources of income and to survive in real estate, which is, because I even thought the guy who puts our signs in the yard, he's making $50 a pop, right? So he's like, well, he had to make the signs. I'm like, that's a one-time thing, you
Yeah.
know? So
He didn't have to make the signs. He just had to make
The
the
posts.
posts.
She
Or
meant
that's
the
what I
post.
meant. The
Yeah,
posts.
okay. I'm
Yeah.
like, wait.
Yeah.
You're like, I got my own sign made. What are you
This is
talking about?
literal over here. Thank you, Rosio, for following my nonsense. But there's little things. So owning rental properties. So maybe right now you own a home, you're trying to do your bills, you're trying to do all this stuff. That's great. Another source of income is having a rental property, and it's great for retirement. So if you're thinking about, well, I don't really need to worry about budgeting for, I already own a home. Well, why aren't you thinking about your next home? And I actually have clients right now reaching out to me after all of this, which is I found very interesting. They're like, we want to get a rental property. So people are just, they're knowing that, like, again, we need to stretch our dollar farther,
Yeah.
you know, and owning real estate is never going to be a negative thing.
Never.
I don't care if the dollar changes, all this stuff. Owning property is a guaranteed asset. So I'm always thinking ways to budget. Getting Emily during COVID did her own nails. You started doing.
I
you
still do. I don't go out and have my nails done anymore. That is an expense that I was able to cancel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they last longer and they look great.
No, you
'Cause
do a great job.
Remember when I was going to that lady for a while and I would come in and you're like, did a kindergartner do your nails?
She'd have like a straight bubble in her acrylic, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't believe, but she's too nice, so she doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
But if
So
we
that's when I
add up
finally.
if we add up all those little things, nails $50 every 3 weeks, spray tan.
I was getting a massage every single week during COVID, and I felt so bad because I was like, okay, this is a job that's hard for them to make money, so I was tipping $50 every time I got a massage, and and I'm like,
I'll be your masseuse anytime.
Happy
Yeah. I didn't give you details of
Oh my gosh.
You might get more from Elizabeth. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Oh my gosh. But those are the things where I'm like, okay, Megan, you're not getting a massage every
Yeah.
single week.
Yeah.
But at the same time, too, you feel compassion for those people who during
So
COVID,
much.
they can't do their actual job in their facilities. So they're trying to make money one way or another. Like my dry cleaner was telling somebody made major fun of me at the grocery store one time for this. My dry cleaner almost had to go out of business because nobody was working. Nobody was having their clothes dry cleaned. And
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
so I literally like my cloth masks that were like handmade or whatever that I got on Etsy, I took them in and had them dry cleaned
Oh,
to help. And
Yeah.
somebody's like, why would you waste money like that? And I'm like, why would you not support a small business in
Yeah.
your local community?
I tried during COVID and I still do. I think that was one of the best things that the community did was we learned to support local so much.
Mhm.
But when your dollar doesn't go as far, we want to support local, but we got to support ourselves
Yes.
too. So
Yeah.
I'm like, certain things I still will. And those who support me, I support back. Like I always tell people, I'm like, when you support my business, I will fully support all your ventures,
Mhm.
but we also know that some people take and never give,
Yep.
right? So we
Yes.
noticed
Yep.
a lot of that during COVID, but I'm just trying to think of
You
more
got
ways
to
say
see
it.
a lot of people's true colors during COVID.
Oh yeah.
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 I mean, their true intentions, their true meanings, their true feelings. You saw a lot
I
of
wonder if we
that
should
come
do
out.
like a census of like who did you stay friends with and why? Because I feel like it would be very based off of
Mhm.
like things you didn't know about that person prior
Mhm.
to.
Yeah.
I feel like I proved during COVID how freaking normal I am. I was not
Normal.
scared of things. I would still leave the house.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't wear a hazmat suit to pump gas.
I just had hand sanitizer in my pocket, but I did that before COVID.
No, I've always been a hand washer. That's
Yeah.
like when I was watching the news and people were like, "Oh, sing happy birthday while you wash your hands," and I'm
No.
like, "What?
You've never washed your hands before?
what
Or
do you
what?
just like do?
Like,
Like-
taught how to do this right now?
Right?
Yeah.
The only thing that they did teach was to do it like in between your fingers more, which not a lot of people did, but I always like scrub and I go in between my fingers and sometimes I'll wash my fingers individually because I've always been, you know this, I've always been a germaphobe. I've always carried
But
Lysol
she gets
with me.
Uber Eats.
Yeah.
I can't let it go. No. I
It's been almost
am
a
a
year.
germaphobe, but if I'm not at the same time, because if you don't gross me out as a person, it doesn't bother me. But if something about you grosses me out, I'm like, "Can I
I'm
try your
just
drink?"
like
I'm like, "You
that.
could just keep it."
I'm just like that. I'm the same way.
No, but
Yeah.
you would like if you're like, "Can we try?" It would never bother me.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
like some people, I'm like, if
Somebody
you even
with
look
ratty
at my
teeth.
drink, I want to like hose it down.
I had somebody one time, we were out to dinner with friends and I had a plate of fries in front of me. They reached over
Oh, manhandle them.
and took fries off my plate. I just left them
Can we
there for
talk about the
table.
guy who came to my? This is like one of my funny but least favorite stories of my open house. But it was like during no, it was pre-COVID actually. Just kidding, it was pre-COVID. But again, I've
I was
always
gonna say, don't admit that you did anything during COVID.
I stand proud of all the rules I broke. But no, this is pre-COVID. But this guy comes to my vacant open house. And I have lovely snacks of different variety in the kitchen because I like to, snacks are
Oh, the one that
everything.
pooped.
The poop guy. Thank you. Well, that's the end. That's the end of that story. No,
That's
so
different.
this guy, and it doesn't matter, but he's big boy 6'4". That's it. It ain't
He's
no
a big dude.
It's not a rabbit poop. But I was like, he's like, "Can I use your restroom?" I said, "Oh, yeah." I said, but I'm like, I didn't
It's
say
a vacant home.
no, but I didn't say there's no toilet paper because you don't assume that people are going to
Gonna
just
poop.
take a massive
You should
poop.
still say that. Okay,
He's a
keep
guy
going.
though. If it was
You
a
don't think
lady, I
that
would
for
say,
a
"Sorry, there's
dude.
no toilet paper here," out of politeness,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If I imply that there's no toilet paper, I'm letting you say that you're popping a squat at my open house. So he's gone. He's in there for 35 minutes. To the point people are like, "Oh," and the worst part is this was a gorgeous bathroom. I'm going to find you guys the photos. They had like the standalone bathtub, the tile shower, walk-in. So it's like one of the highlights of the pool home. It's a hot open house. Like everybody was there.
There's so many people coming in.
So there's somebody
Oh.
like the restroom. I'm like, "Oh, he's still in there." So now I'm embarrassed because I'm like, we know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Unless like
Yeah.
he's dead in there. I'm just gonna leave and lock up. I'm not gonna even check. I just don't know. So he comes out and people are walking down the hallway like they're like eyes are burning from
Oh my god.
from it.
so
I'm
bad.
not even making this up or exaggerating. It was like a hot hallway.
Ugh.
So
Like
he
you can
comes.
smell the heat.
What do you
Well,
say?
again, if there's no toilet paper, there's no hand towels, which also means there's no hand soap. So, and now I know, thank you for COVID, you need to have pumps of hand sanitizer at all open houses. He comes in the kitchen and he goes, ooh, rifles through every single one of my snacks.
No.
Yes. So I literally have
I'm
this.
getting nauseous.
You're nauseous. I just stand there and watch him rifle through all of my snacks. And at that point, I'm like, they're all individually wrapped. I don't even know what to do. I just even still want to toss it because people are going to come in and poop hands is just made love to each of these snacks with his hands.
Did
Oh
I
my
tell you this
Yeah.
story?
Sorry, Ethan. Yeah.
Jory's work in like 2010 had street taco vendor come in. The guy went to the bathroom, did not wash his hands, prepared everybody's tacos.
Oh, people actually got sick.
Half of his facility was hospitalized.
Oh, no, it does happen. That's why they say to be
E.
careful.
coli.
Yeah. Even though
Wow.
oh, that is one thing where I contradict myself. You will find me at a food truck for sure. But I'm hoping they wash their hands.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, they have
But
to follow regulations like restaurants do.
I mean, Afro tacos. I love Afro tacos.
I love Afro
I'm there.
tacos.
But I think it's because it's by my house, right? If it,
We take our golf carts there.
yeah, I know. It's really
Oh,
just,
fancy.
well, mine's not
Relax,
as
it's
illegal.
just lettuce.
We need to go grab some golf carts so we can join them.
How about you
just-
just come over and get a taco with me, and I'll
Yeah.
make a Bloody Mary. You didn't like my Bloody Mary.
Oh, that
Try
one
Jory's
time.
Bloody Mary.
I wonder why it tasted
Oh,
different.
so-
Mine
You
is
ju-
the same thing as Jory's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was an off day for me.
It was
maybe.
Thanksgiving
Maybe it's
No,
because
morning.
I was
I think it was an off day for me.
Maybe it's because I was making so many at one time for people. I think my best Bloody Marys are not in like a large amount. It's like that
Yeah.
perfect sauce. So,
Okay, so when are we four gonna have them?
You guys
well,
wanna
now that the
come
weather's
over
nice,
to-
anytime.
No extra add-ons, Megan.
I was going to
I'll
say,
get
you guys
extra
want to
olives.
come over
No.
Easter morning and we'll make Bloody Marys?
I'm going to,
I
I'm going to
forgot
church
extra.
with CrossFit.
We could have done it today because Jory's home today.
We are hosting an open house,
Just
Emily,
do
and
it
working
this
today, but
afternoon.
thank you so much. But we'll see you at the country club at 6.
You can bring us some Starbucks cups.
Oh, you want to bring a Starbucks since you're not on a budget? I'm just
I'm,
kidding.
I'm the only person that's on a very strict budget, but I can definitely bring you guys some Starbucks.
Oh, I get it.
Oh.
derp to derp.
Yeah, like we can buy those plastic cups. And
I have-
micheladas.
I have a plastic reusable
Starbucks,
Starbucks
Elizabeth.
cup.
This house actually has a beer fridge, so we're in.
You guys mean Starbucks fridge?
What is wrong? You pushed it too far. Do you know what? My best friend and I, we used to go to 24-hour fitness together, but one of our things to keep us going was like we started making nicknames for people who were there and pretending
Oh, that's
that we would
funny.
know their lives. So we're
my
like,
gosh.
oh, Tractor Boy is here and he's talking to the like we have no
That's
idea.
hilarious.
So we used to have so much fun. So to this day, we still talk about these people. Like it could be like the polar opposite. We have no idea about their lives, but it was the most fun. But
We did that at the Indian restaurant one time
what?
when we were there with Dan. When we were leaving, there was this couple walking through the parking lot, and we were like, they got out of
this
a
as
car.
funny as it used to be. Emily.
They got out of a car. Their license plate was like Katatska or something
Oh.
like that. And we were talking about who they were and how they were going on their first date into the Indian restaurant. They were really going to learn who each other was after eating Indian food.
It was really
hilarious.
funny 4 years ago.
It was. 5 years ago. Thank you very much. But it's fine. It was
Aw,
hilarious.
Dan, rest in peace, Dan. He's
I
the
know.
nicest guy.
Best.
But yeah, I think just go back to it real fast. Budgeting, we're gonna what is like I just want to leave today of ways people can start saving money monthly. Cutting back on Starbucks.
Recycle. A lot of people don't recycle. I
Mhm.
recycle my cans, my plastic
Mhm.
bottles. I recycle all of it. And
So
then
just a little extra side money.
Mhm.
Stop eating out.
Stop eating out. If
Maybe
you-
you make like date night instead,
Yeah.
right? You know, because I think to myself, I'm like, well, I didn't eat out this week. I'm like, Megan, you got a Jamba Juice, you got a Starbucks, you
Mhm.
did this. I'm like, that's still $70
Yeah.
somehow that added up
Mhm.
over
Yeah.
things. Or I grabbed a protein bar in a gas station. One protein bar at a gas station is like $4.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
$4, yeah.
Well, then I get a Red Bull while I'm in there and a water. So it's-
You pay
it's a
$15.
$4.
Yeah.
realtor.
I was like, I might as well get my car washed since I'm here.
Seriously.
But
Yeah,
I need to
definitely
start
that.
being more cognitive of where my
Mhm.
money is going. paying off my credit card from this last vacation. I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm done. Wait, I told John, I'm like, unless it's necessary, I'm overspending money on silly little things. So maybe get an accountability buddy of, am I boring you?
Rosio's my accountability buddy.
You are always treating us lunch, dinner, and everything. You don't need to treat all of us.
Yeah, maybe
all
I
the
stopped
time.
picking up the tab.
Yeah, we tried.
That's,
And I'm
that's
like,
a great thing for you to do to save money, Megan.
Yes.
Because I feel like every
Yes.
time we hang out, you spend $1,000.
Actually, it's
Well, if it's out of the AV, 5,000. But
yeah, Ethan's like, you can still buy my lunch. Yeah, don't take that out of your budget. Yeah, I'll work on that. That's
Yeah.
actually, thank you for the accountability.
That's a good thing for
Okay,
you.
less Uber Eats.
I haven't done it in a million. It's been a
I'm only
full
going
year.
to Starbucks if I have a showing or
Okay.
if it's closing day or if it's for a client.
One thing I can
What about
do
you,
is-
Rocio?
I should probably go to the grocery store.
More
Yeah,
often?
That's,
Do you eat out a lot?
Too. Stop
No,
eating
she
No,
Instacart.
I Instacart everything. I
Yeah.
never go to the grocery store. But I feel
Yeah.
like it's also because it's so time consuming. And their
And
kids
You know
are
what? If you
kids
cut back
and-
on other things and that's still a priority to you, I don't think it's bad because I see moms
Yeah.
busting their butts all day at work. They want to spend more time with their kids. Going to that grocery store, that might be more important. But maybe if you're doing that, you don't do something else.
And also,
Yeah.
your time is valuable too. Sometimes it's worth more spending $50 extra on groceries, but you
I
have
think
two
it's-
free hours.
Have you ever seen people
Yeah.
wait in the Costco line for like
Mhm.
45 minutes to get gas?
I
And
think
I'm
that's
And you're saving
ridiculous.
5 cents.
How
Like,
much
I
gas
cannot.
are you wasting
Like-
sitting in that line?
It's
No,
more
you gotta
than
turn your car off.
time.
Just kidding.
But
Right?
it's yeah, that's the real cheapskates. Hey, my car has a,
Oh my God.
wait, actually it takes
has
more
an
gas to
auto.
power off and on.
I
I
know.
think,
I was
right?
just kidding.
No.
No, but people waste a lot of time doing that. So I think
Yeah.
that I always wonder, I'm like, the logic people have just blows my mind.
Yeah.
Or they're like, I'm going to go get my eggs at this store because they're $4 more.
But
If
you
I'm
just
like,
drove
Yeah.
2 more
Or
miles.
you just call Emily and say, Emily, can I have some
mine are still in the
eggs?"
fridge back there. Did you take them out?
Jory, do not listen to this podcast.
Oh no.
He's
Sorry.
the one that gets mad, not me. I don't care.
Sorry, Dory. Make me Bloody Mary still. But I think I'm gonna come up with some more things. I'm gonna think all week of ways to budget better. The one last thing I'll say is if you're, I don't know if I've said it before. I don't know if I've said it on here. Is get the credit card that earns you points.
Oh yeah,
I'm
you
doing
have.
city double cash right now. But even on this last trip, I'm like, I'm gonna get a certain amount of money back from things I would have done anyways.
Mhm.
I pay it off, and then for the hotel and for the flights, I put on my Hilton card. So I'm like, I got points for
You
that
get
for my
points.
next trip. So maybe I get a free night hotel stay for that one weekend where you were going to pay $300-400 for a
Mhm.
hotel.
Mhm.
So let's utilize these credit card companies. And it's okay to have multiple credit cards. I think that's the thing.
Just
You're like,
use
oh,
them
I
wisely.
can't, I have 10 credit cards. That's okay. As long as you don't carry balances on them, but you can get points from every single one of them. And I do. I've Chase, Sapphire, City Double Cash, my Hilton card. Amazon Prime is my favorite for sure
Yeah.
because
Oh, I actually
you get like 1%
Oh.
or 5% if you shop on Amazon.
Mhm.
So I'll go
Mhm.
on there and I just, even if you sent somebody a gift card, you can still get 5% back on your gift card that you
Yep.
bought the person.
And then you can use your points to buy more stuff on Amazon.
hmm No, it's really great. So things to consider. And it's also Visa. So if you go shop at Costco, you can use your Amazon card at Costco.
Mm.
So, which is good. But anyways, that is my last tidbit for that. And you guys think this week, let's think about budgeting
Mhm.
and let's see who can do a better job because I know I'll probably fail first, but I'm going to work on it. It's my
Ooh.
new
I've
thing.
cut back on so much. I feel like even recently, Jory's made us cut back on Instacart because they do charge more
Mhm,
for
everything's-
the item. So
yeah.
he's hardcore budget.
Everybody
right now.
is. I think it's good. And I think it is a great mindset to have because as you get older, it gets harder. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I thought Ethan was snapping at me.
Yeah, you guys, you missed their commentary. I'm like right here.
I
It's
can't
the
handle it,
best. It's
but-
hilarious.
Yeah, he's mean. Ethan's mean. Poor lens. Anyways, okay. All right. We're going to talk about budgeting and we're
Yep.
going to bring it back on episode 8 for all the money we have
Can
next
we
week.
write it down here so we remember?
I'll
course.
remember. It's the one topic
right,
at the
thank you.
gym. Okay. I love you guys and we'll see you guys next time for episode 8.
Bye.